Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I was asked recently, what is the biggest accomplishment of my life? Okay. I've owned large real estate companies, mortgage companies, title companies, Florida companies, 20-year radio show, podcast, written hundreds of songs, millions of views. But my greatest accomplishment is that woman I married for 26 years. 26 years, we've never had a single argument. You can't say that. I think she drinks a lot now, but I don't know. Okay, but let me tell you how fantastic this lady is. Not only was she Realtor of the Year, president of our board twice, state director. This lady, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who play Words with Friends, this lady is the number 22 ranked Words with Friends person in the globally, 22. I did good, didn't I? I married up. All right, this is going to be weird. I'm going to tell you something in 10 minutes that I normally take an hour or two in a class to do. The number one thing, I don't know if I can do this, but I'll throw it out there. The number one thing that I have learned, the number one thing that has helped me, that I have valued, that has allowed me to help millions of people over the 98 years in real estate is 4 buttons on a calculator. I know you're going to hang up. Half of you are going to hang up saying, oh my God, I can do that. I know that. I know. But when I have my radio show, somebody call in, I can tell you in 2 seconds what your payments are, what your term is, how much extra you got to pay, how much you can afford to buy, all because of 4 buttons. I'm going to do my best to tell you that. The ep13 calculator. Yeah, you can go buy it for $30 or whatever. You can get it for $6.99. You can download it on your phone for $6.99 one time, and then you're done with it. Right there it is, 10B. Those top 4 buttons on the left side, the N, the 1Y, the PV, the payment. That's all I use. I don't know all this stuff, okay? I can use those things and rule the world. There's probably not a day that goes by that I don't do that. And I know all you say you got your calculators and this and that. Now, you can't beat $7 to download something on your phone. And this is one of the top, most popular financial calculators. Been around a long, long, long time. Because it's so easy to learn and easy to use. But I'm going to just show you using those top 4 buttons, and this is what I use in a class, those top 4 buttons. The PM is the payment amount, the PV is the present value, the loan amount, the 1Y is the interest rate, and the N is the number of months. 30 years is 360. Figured that in my head. So you got to remember that, okay? Those 4 buttons is all I use. Yes, you can figure a payment. You've got a book, you've got a calculator, you've done this a million times. You can figure a payment, I know. Have you learned to take advantage of the other things? You plug any 3 of these in to find the 4th. Not just to find the payment. You plug these 3 in to find the payment. But how about plugging 3 in to find out the maximum loan that you can afford? How about finding out what the interest rate is on something? How about finding out how many numbers of months? A variety of things. That's what I do. Now, all right, I'm going to do this real quick. My marketing guru will put some stuff up here where you can kind of see it. But step 101, basics. a $200,000 loan, about $200,000 in PV, at 6% interest, 1YR, at 360 months in, and that payment is $11.99 a month. Okay, that's kind of easy, right? I can do that in really 5 seconds. But let's say, well, what would the payment be if you did it for 25 years? Well, we take $200,000 at the 6% interest for 300 months in, and the payment is $12.88. That's like $89 more a month if you want it for a 25 year. I've used this tremendously for people that have maybe 20, 25 years left and realize to go down to 15 years, how much more I can afford that, they say. So I said, well, just make that more every month on your payment, and you can do it. You can use this for, people talk about making one extra payment a year. It's easy to figure this way. Let me tell you what I use this for. People that I've talked to over the years, 90% of realtors ask the buyer, the first thing they ask them is, what general price range are you looking at? Well, we're thinking 200, 250, or 250, 300. They may know that. They may not know that. What they do know is how much monthly payment they can afford. Back in my day, I'd ask them, what price, and then I would ask them, what is the most monthly payment you would be comfortable making? This works, ladies and gentlemen, on a house, on a car, for a mobile home, for a loan, a furniture, whatever. They'll say, well, we're paying $1,300 rent right now. We think we can go to maybe, $1,600 a month or so. Now, what I do is I just arbitrarily take off $200 or $300. Could be a whole lot more in your area, could be less in your area, because you got taxes and insurance on the payment. So I'm just figuring the principal and interest. You say you can handle $1,300 a month. I put in $1,300 on the payment. I put in 360 years. I put in 6%, and then I push the PV. You can buy a $216,000 home for that. Okay. Plug in the other three. You find that. My son-in-law came to me once and said, well, we need to buy young person. We need to buy another car, but we're not sure how much car we can afford. And I said, well, how much monthly payment would you be comfortable making? And he said, well, we kind of need to hold it maybe $400 a month or so. And I said, okay, that's $400 a month payment. And I figured the bank would go, maybe 6 years or something, so 72 months. I figured the bank charged maybe 9% interest. You can buy a $22,000 car. Go out and buy a $22,000 car, and you'll be in that ballpark of the $400 a month. So you can figure term. You can figure the interest rate. A guy came in once years ago selling me copiers and told me how much they were, what the payments would be, because we finance it and everything. And I finally said, okay, I'm fine with that, but what is your interest rate? Well, I don't, this is a national thing. I don't know, but I'm sure it's good. I said, you don't know what the interest rate is? He said, no. So I plugged in the number of months he told me. I plugged in the price that he told me. I plugged in the payment that he told me. And then I pushed the 1YR, and it said 36. I said, you're charging 36% interest. He said, oh, no, I'm not. So I know that wasn't much, but those 4 buttons, learn those 4 buttons and practice at least 10 times. Do something 10 times with these. You will be shocked. Your existing debts, plug in your credit card, plug in your interest rate, plug in what you're paying, and find out how many decades it's going to be to pay that off, and what happens if you pay a little bit more on your credit card to find that, okay? Now, the only little glitch here is when you push the payment, if you push $1,000 a month, in that payment, because the payment is a negative thing, it's going down. If I put payment in, I push like 500 monthly payment, and then I push that plus or minus button over here, and it'll go minus, and then I would push the payment thing. So once you put the payment in to find something else, you got to push that plus or minus, and it'll put a minus, then you push the payment button on it. Practice that. If you have any questions or anything, you can call me, you can text me, 318-376-7545. My email is right up here too. I don't want any money from you. But call or text me. This has changed people's life. I'm on the radio and people are calling in and saying, I just don't know what I got to afford. Well, now you know. I don't know what interest rate I'm paying. Now you know. I don't know how long this car loan is for. Now you know. So practice that. You'll be shocked. Right now you're thinking, practice that. Get comfortable with it. You'll be shocked. Extras that I do. I've written hundreds of songs. Y'all know that. Other people record them. I started recording mine. I put a song out 2 weeks ago. Marketing gal did this. It's a gospel I wrote 40 years ago. 40 years ago, okay? I was 8 years old. 40 years ago, a gospel I put out. Now, you go to my DBeasleymusic.com to hear some of the songs that I have sung and I've written. There will be 2 good gospels there, but you will also see Big Fat Butt and I Don't Want No Floozy in My Jacuzzi. So, but I put this gospel out 40 years ago. Well, I didn't put it out. I wrote it for a Shreveport, Louisiana gospel group, and it's been recorded 3 times. We changed it up, put it back out, a couple weeks ago, Sabrina? And I think it's over 100, 200,000 views. There's still some, I was embarrassed to put it out because it's like a 1920 gospel. Back then, what they were. Today is rap and R&B and all that stuff and everything. But it's still good. Give it a shot. See what you think. God bless you. Have a great week.